about something that is very, very near and dear to my heart. As you all know, I have a visual impairment and I honestly am not too bothered by it, but there are some things that really annoy me when people say or do these things. Me and my fellow blind and visually impaired people can probably vouch for the fact that we don't really like when people say and do these things to us. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about things that annoy blind and visually impaired people. So let's get into it. So the first thing that is probably the most common thing that annoys a blind person, and this hasn't happened to me very much, it's probably happened to me once or twice, but I know lots of people who have either more severe vision impairments than I have or who are completely blind, and this happens to them all the time. And this thing right here that extends into a very long length right here. I have heard some people call this a stick, which is probably the most common term used by uneducated sighted people. I have heard one or two people call this a pole, which I don't know where they get that from, but this is not called a stick or a pole. It is called a cane, and it is for blind people to navigate around public places, to move around obstacles, and to signal drivers when they're crossing a street. And it has reflective tape on it so that when it's nighttime and they're crossing a street, they can flag the cane and let drivers know that they're crossing, and the headlights will reflect off of the tape on this. But that's kind of beside the point. I rambled. But this is not called a stick or a pole, it is called a cane, and now you know, hopefully you won't make that same mistake. So it's common for sighted people to assume that blind people or visually impaired people know each other, all know each other. Exhibit A.
Oh my god, look, it's a girl with a cane. Do you know her?
I don't know every single blind person ever. Now, my sister, who played the blind girl standing with a cane, is not actually blind, so let's just put that out of the way. But it's just kind of awkward for somebody to come up and ask you if you know somebody based off of a common similarity, one common similarity. It would be like somebody asking somebody with black hair, asking if that person knows another person walking by them that also has black hair. You know, some blind people know each other, some don't. So it's just safer to steer away from that question. Okay, now the next one I have had happen to me so many times, more times than I can even count or remember. And let's just take a look at the clip.
Hey, have you tried glasses?
No, my parents just decided to skip over all the glasses things and just have me, like, you know, deal with whatever vision I can't use.
Interesting.
Now, it's kind of a dumb question if you think about it, because I'm obviously looking close at a screen, which I know some people who have forgotten their glasses before and need to look up closely at something. I've seen a clip in the office where Pam does that. But most of the time, if you're seeing somebody do that, they're probably either having a, you know, bad eyesight day or they're visually impaired. I look close at menus, at books, at even screens like you saw in the clip. And it's just my life. I've gotten used to it. But it's kind of rude for somebody to come up and say, hey, have you tried glasses? Like, okay, if I'm looking closely at something, obviously I've tried glasses before, and by process of elimination, by what you're seeing, glasses didn't work. And I've had to explain this so many times glasses don't work for me, and it's because it's a gene mutation in my retina that caused my vision impairment. So glasses can't fix or correct a gene mutation. And this has happened to so many of my friends too. I know this has happened. And it's just, it's kind of insulting and a little bit, you know, demeaning to say, oh, hey, have you tried glasses? It's like, whoa, mind blown, we didn't think of that. Oh my God, I should try that. I've lived 15, almost 16 years without glasses. Maybe I should get on that. No, like, I've obviously tried glasses. Me personally, I've tried glasses probably 4 times. I think it's been 4 times. And none of those 4 times they worked for me. So it's just gonna kind of make you, the person who's asking that, look a little dumb rather than putting the blind person down. Hey, question. So I know this is red, but like, is this pink?
No, that's orange. What are you, blind?
Some blind people mix up colors, and it's different from color blindness. That is a totally different condition, unrelated to visual impairments and blindness. I am not colorblind. I can see colors. I can see almost all colors, but I mix some up, and that happens, and I confuse colors with other colors. For example, pink and purple I can get mixed up. Purple and green I've gotten mixed up before. Maybe even like a warmer toned green mixed with a yellow. And it's just kind of, it happens. I'm used to it by now. But when people mock you for something like that, it kind of hits a little too close to home. And while we're on the subject, what you saw in that clip, somebody could be trying to say that is a blind joke, which I'm going to talk about later on in the video. And that's not a very funny blind joke. And I love blind jokes. I make them all the time about myself, and I know some of my really good friends will make blind jokes about me, and it'll be really funny and we'll all laugh. But stuff like that, just saying, "What are you, blind?" Like, that's not funny. That's just more of an insult. So let's get back to blind jokes. Now, like I said, I make blind jokes all the time about myself, and my friends make blind jokes about me. But before you think that that is a permission statement to go and make a blind joke about somebody, you need to make sure that you know the person and you know that they're okay with it. This is just a disclaimer. If you know me, you know that I'm okay with it. But I know, and I think a lot of blind people are okay with blind jokes, but there are the select few who are very sensitive about that topic and they don't like blind jokes. So make sure you know the person that you're gonna make a blind joke about before you say it. This clip that I'm gonna show you is an actual blind joke that I made at a party. So let's watch it.
Oh wow, that flashes. I'm blinded.
No, I'm the blind one.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
It was a joke.
I'm
you
so
can
sorry.
laugh.
I'm so sorry.
And when people take pity on me, I'm like, no, bro, like, you can laugh. Like, I don't care. I've made peace with it. I've had to live almost 16 years with blindness. I think I've kind of gotten over the sensitivity part of it. But, you know, another example of a good blind joke I made about myself on New Year's Eve. We were playing poker. Some friends and I were playing poker, not betting actual money, obviously, but we were playing Texas Hold'em, and if you don't know that game, there are 2 chips. One says small blind, one says big blind, and the dealer was to the right of me, so he gave me the small blind, and the person to the left of me, he gave them the big blind. And I was like, these should be switched around because I'm actually the big blind here. And everybody just started laughing because they know me and they know my sense of humor about it. And it was funny, it was well timed, it was witty, and it was actually funny. But here's the type of blind jokes that aren't funny and almost all blind people will just find insulting. The clip before when I showed you, what are you, blind? And oh, like you actually can't see anything, can you? Like those types of I don't even want to call them jokes because they're not. Those types of statements are more just insults. And you're not accomplishing anything, you're not making a joke about it, you're making the person feel bad about something that they can't fix. And you know, again, if you think it through, it makes sense. It's more of a hurtful statement than a joke because you're making the person the butt of the joke and not making a joke about their vision exactly. So make sure that you think a blind joke through properly. And also, again, just to reiterate, make sure you know the person because some people are very sensitive about that stuff. So blind jokes are fine, I welcome them. Please make them if you see me, but make sure that they're actually gonna be funny and make me laugh, and make sure that they're not just insult statements. Now, this one comes to me courtesy of my really, really good friend Nikki, who is totally blind. She has only light and shadow perception, and it is the topic of inspiration porn, which is basically highlighting the normal everyday things that a disabled person does that any normal able-bodied person would be able to do without any help. And it's kind of insulting to us really when we are praised and said we're inspirational for tying our shoes or crossing a street, and it's like you wouldn't, I don't know, it's kind of a touchy topic because it's so common nowadays, but I think it just kind of hurts our feelings more than anything, and it's just more insulting than it is, you know, praising us. So if you think about it, like pouring a cup of water is a really normal thing that a lot of people are able to do, and a lot of blind people are praised for being able to pour water on their own. So just think about that before you praise a disabled person for doing something that a totally sighted person would be able to do. Now, along the same lines as the inspiration porn, there is another thing that really gets to me and some of my other friends, and that is thinking that blind people can't do anything. And this could be shown in the way of, oh, let me do this for you, let me cut this for you because you can't possibly use a knife, or oh, here, let me light this candle for you, here, let me read this to you because you can't possibly figure out a way to read it, or, you know, and anything else kind of similar to that. It's just kind of insulting to think that we are at such a low skill level that we can't do simple things like pouring a glass of water or crossing the street on our own. We go through this thing called orientation and mobility, which I believe I touched on in my About My Vision video. I'll link that below just in case you want to check that out. But it teaches us how to cross streets, how to get around without driving, because, you know, when we're past the legal cutoff line to be considered legally blind, we can't drive. So we learn to use public transportation. We learn how to best cross a street, some different ways to cross streets. We learn personal shopping skills. All of that stuff, we have workarounds for it, is basically what I mean. And when people think that we are so low on the ability scale that we can't do anything on our own, that makes us lose our sense of independence. And there is a difference between independence and freedom. And basically, everybody is on some level independent. And from my experience, and I know other people who will feel the same way, when you have a disability, you are not technically a free person because you can't drive. You can't willingly go out and take yourself somewhere. You can't cross the street without the help of some sort of technology. And so kind of independence is the only thing that we have to cling to. And when people put us down for stuff like that, like not thinking that we're capable of doing something, that makes us lose our sense of independence, and that just makes us lose everything. So we can do a lot, and we do a lot, but people don't realize that. They see that we do normal things and they praise us for it. They may not see that we are doing really good things and they don't want to praise us for it. So just don't try and help somebody across the street who looks like they might need help, because if they need help, they're gonna ask for it, and you aren't really in the place to step in. If they ask you for help, sure, go ahead, lead them across the street, help them find something in a store, go ahead. But just don't put people down for something that is very easy to do, and don't offer people help when it's not needed. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and this wasn't meant to attack anybody, this wasn't meant to insult anybody, this was just for spreading awareness, and I really hope that you learned something, and comment down below what your favorite tip was, and please like this, share this video. I really want to spread quite a bit of awareness with this video, so if you can and if you want to share it, it would really mean a lot to me. Please subscribe to my channel. I am thinking about, for my next video, doing a music cover, because I play piano, and so please subscribe if you want to see that, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you again so much for watching. Bye!